Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 11, Section 10 of the Picture of Dorian Gray.
Ass.
Ah.
The Picture of Dorian Gray. Oscar Wilde. Chapter 11, Section 10. The hero of the wonderful novel that had so influenced his life had himself known this curious fancy. In the 7th chapter he tells how, crowned with laurel, lest lightning might strike him, he had sat, as Tiberius, in a garden at Capri, reading the shameful books of Elephantis, while dwarfs and peacocks strutted round him and the flute player mocked the swing of that. Then so, and as Caligula had caroused with the green-shirted jockeys in their stables and supped in an ivory manger, with the chauffeur-lidded horse, and as Domitian had wandered through a corridor lined with marble mirrors, looking round with head eyes for the reflection of the dagger that was to end his days, and sick with that in he, that terrible triumvirate that comes on those to whom life denies nothing, and had peered through a clear emerald at the red shambles of the circus, and then, in a litter of purple and purple drawn by silver-shod mules, been carried through the street of pomegranates to a house of gold and heard men cry on Nero Caesar as he passed by, and as like a had painted his face with colours, and plied the distaff among the women, and brought them in from Carthage and given her a mystic marriage to the sun. Over and over again Dorian used to read this fantastic chapter, and the 2 chapters immediately following, in which, as in some curious tapestries or cunningly wrought enamels, were pictured the awful and beautiful forms of those whom vice and blood and weariness had made monstrous or mad. Filippo, Dick of Man, who slew his wife and painted her lips with a scarlet poison that her lover might seek death from the dead thing he fondled. Pietro Barbi, the Venetian, known as Paul II, who sought in his vanity to assume the title of Formosus, and his tiara, valued at 200,000 florins, was bought at the price of a terrible Gian Maria Visconti. He used hands to chase living men, and he was murdered, but he was covered with roses by a harlot who had loved him. The boar drawn his white horse, with fratricide riding beside him and his mantle stained with the blood of Perto. Pietro Rio, the young Cardinal Archbishop of Florence, child and minion of Sixtus IV, whose beauty was equalled only by his debauchery, and who received Leonora of Aragon in a pavilion of white and crimson silk, filled with nymphs and centaurs, and goaded a boy that he might serve at the feast as Ganymede or Hylas. Evelyn, whose melancholy could be cured only by the spectacle of death, and who had a passion for red blood, as other men have for red wine, son of the fiend, as was reported, and one who had cheated his father at dice when gambling with him for his. Also, Giambattista Cibo, who in mockery took the name of innocent and into his toe pains the blood of 3 lads was infused by a Jewish doctor, Sigismondo Malatesta, the lover of a satyr and the lord of Rimini, whose effigy was burned at Rome as the enemy of God and men. who strangled Blisina with a napkin and gave poison to Ginevrit's in a cup of emeralds, and in honour of a shameful passion built a pagan church for Christian worship. Charles Roman, who had so wildly adored his brother's wife that a leper had warned him of the insanity that was coming on him, and you, when his brain had sickened and grown strange, could only be soothed by stories and cards painted with the images of love and death, and madness, and in his trimmed jerkin and jewelled cap at a Catholic calls, Grife in it a Beglin, who slew a sore with his bride, and Seminito with his page, and Jus Cumulus was such that, as he lay dying in the yellow pies of Perugia, those who had hated him could not choose but weep. And Atalanta, who had cursed him, blessed him. There was a horrible fascination in them all. He saw them at night, and they troubled his imagination in the day. The Renaissance knew of strange manners of poisoning by a helmet and a lighted torch, by an embroidered glove and a jewelled fan, by a gilded pomander and by an amber chain. Dorian Gray had been poisoned by a brook. There were moments when he looked on evil simply as a mote through which he could realise his conception of the beautiful. To be continued.